welcome back to the Leeds Edge Cricket Podcast, episode 54. And for the second week running, we are on schedule, ladies and gentlemen. 6 a.m, set your watch by it on the Monday morning. I'm Rob, on half of the Leeds Edge Cricket, and today joined by the co-host of the show, Rich.
How's it doing, Rob? You alright, dude?
I'm good. I'm setting my watch by it. 6 a.m. We're on time.
So far, so good. 1 week down, mate. You did it. You got it out there. Monday morning, commutable. Everyone's listening. Well, when I say everyone, I'm sure there's a few people listening.
Some people are listening, and I gave it the big David Warner. I didn't record it, but as soon as I pressed submit and it went live, I was giving it the big running through the house, mouse in the air, kissing the mouse, little fist pump.
The mouse? Kissing the mouse? What's the mouse?
The mouse, computer mouse. Not an actual mouse.
Oh, the mouse. Mouse. I thought we had breaking news.
There's mouse in the house.
I had no idea what he was going on about then. I thought you'd just gone to the pet store and just bought a new pet or something. Bizarre. Mate.
I've got a pet mouse called Warner.
Oh, my word. So, yeah, I've not quite got to the excitement stage of anything in the last week or so to actually find that I need to go running up and down, pumping my fist. I just haven't yet. If Harry, one of the podcast listeners and one of our teammates at Cricket Rob, if Harry ever decides he wants to come around and actually do that little bit of work he said he was going to do, then I'd probably pump my fist and run up and down. But he keeps forgetting. So maybe if I just say it here, he'll hear this on Monday and then maybe come round one day next week, which would be great. Thanks, Harry. Bye.
Yep, you've been called out, Harry. You've been called out, mate. And I tell you what, there is one person that's probably running down the corridor of the hotel at the moment, giving it a little fist pump and big I am. And that's a young, certain Indian teenager.
Oh, man. India has not been as excited about a teenager since Sachin Tendulkar came on the scene, has they?
No,
have they?
They can't.
This is the news this week, isn't it? And we've got to start off with it. This is what we need to talk about. Prithvi Shaw. Stand up, son. Youngest Indian to make a century on Test debut on the first day of the first Test against Windies in Rajkot. He's 18, Rob. He's only 18. He scored his first 100 off 99 balls to surpass the record of anyone. You want to have a guess?
Oh, I'm going to say, I don't know, actually. Sachin?
Abbas Ali Bagh, or Bagh, I don't know the pronunciation, and I clearly didn't know that off the top of my head. I found it on the internet, and that's what the internet's for, as well as funny cat videos. So he's the fourth youngest player all time to hit a debut ton and the second youngest Indian to make a Test century after the man himself, Sachin Tendulkar. So, yeah, Prithvi Shaw, unbelievable effort. We've been talking about him at the back end of the England Test series, saying it'd be nice to see him get a go. Well, you know, got there close enough, didn't he? You know, he might not have played against England, but he did get in soon enough. And yeah, he ended up 134, 19 fours. India closed the first day, 364 for 4, but they've eventually declared on 649 for 9. Shaw, one of 3 centurions.
That's ridiculous. That's a lot of leather chasing, mate. A lot of leather chasing.
That's a tough day wandering around, isn't it, if you're West Indies? So, I mean, there's a lot of big scores. We've got to talk about one or two. Cheteshwar, Pujara, number 3, 86. He picked up where he left off. Shaw, we've spoke about. 154 balls for his 134. Virat Kohli, he's had a rest. He's back, 139. Brilliant. Rahane, 41. Did okay. That's not bad. Rishabh Pant, the boy, he's cracking on again. 92 off 84. 4 sixes, Rob.
Yes.
Ravi Jadeja, 100 not out, batting down the order. The counter-attacking, the swish, the swirling of the bat. 132 balls, 5 fours, 5 sixes. Not much down the bottom of the order. We're not interested in that. What I am interested in, though, when you put up a score of 649 for 9, is KL Rahul, what are you doing, man? 4 balls, gone, duck. Didn't have trouble scoring. He sat there, and then he sat there for another 149 overs watching his mates smack the ball to all parts. Disappointed.
It's the sort of thing that normally happens. You know, if you bat at number 4, you know, and there's the 1 wicket down, there's about 400 on the board, you've got Padrash, and you're the next man in, and you go in and you get out second or third ball. That's where you expect it to happen. But Rahul, he had a bad series in England, but he finished off quite nicely. He got that big 100 down at the Oval, so you kind of expected a little bit more. But Jadeja, that's his first ever Test match 100. And if I'm this West Indies team, I look at this West Indies team and I go, I felt like they were starting to get somewhere good and starting to get a bit of consistency. And then I see what they've done over the last 2 days and I'm just like, nah, there's still huge problems.
Yeah, it's not been good, has it? Bless him. I mean, you know, Shannon Gabriel, first over of the day, he takes the wicket at KL Rahul, and you're thinking, wow, you know, this is a hell of a start. Get into that middle order. You got an 18-year-old on debut, put some pressure on him. Did not go according to plan at all, did it? This is right. I've just got to mention it. Devendru Bishu. He's gone at 4 and over, Rob. Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty good going, isn't it? It's a little bit high, but it's not too bad going. But he's bowled 54 overs just for 3 maidens. He took 4 wickets, but he went for 217. In one innings, the man's gone for 217. It's not the worst effort in the world when you look at his economy rate, but he's gone for 217.
That's ridiculous. That poor lad. He'll be having nightmares about that.
Exactly. Roston Chase, 1 for 137 off 26. I mean, he's gone for 5 and a quarter over. That's not great, is it? And you're looking for that control with those sort of bowlers. But yeah, it's been tough for the Windies. In reply, 94 for 6 off 29 overs. Top score at the minute of Chase, Roston Chase, 27 not out, and Kemo Paul's 13 not out. Nobody's done anything. Craig Braithwaite, the captain, 2. Powell, 1. Shai Hope, 10. Shimron Hetmyer, 10. It's just not going particularly well for them. So, unbelievable effort from India. Unbelievable effort from Prithvi Shaw. KL Rahul will still be just stood there thinking about how many catches he's going to take at slip, just kind of going, oh my God, I can't believe I missed out.
Yeah.
But brilliant effort from India. And what a great, what a great stretch of games they've had since England, really.
Yeah, they've done pretty well for themselves. Just before we move on to that stretch of games, just Prithvi Shaw, right? We spoke about him in the England series and we said, we've got to get this guy in there. You've got to pick this guy. He's the next big thing. And there's a great article on the BBC website. We'll put a link to it on Twitter. And basically, when this lad was 12 years old, he came across and he went to school in Manchester at Chedley Home School. 12 years old, playing in the sixth form first team. So these kids are 17, 18 years old. 12 years old. He scored almost 1,500 runs in 3 months. The guy's a phenomenon. Just why? Yes, he's 18, and you're kind of going, he's still really young. But the fact is, he should have been opening in England. And if he was opening in England, it would have gone one or two ways. It would have ruined him as a cricketer, and we would have all gone, oh yeah, our bad. Or it would have been a different series, and the scoreline would have been different.
Yeah. I mean, just a run machine. He doesn't look the biggest fella in the world, does he? But he's got the technique, he's got the timing, he's got every attribute that you need to be successful at the top level of the game, and he's proving it already. And who knows where he could go? He's obviously it's going to be difficult for him because he's going to draw all the comparisons. He's got a hell of a lot to live up to, hasn't he? People like Tendulkar knocking around every single step of the way. People are going to be looking for comparisons. But if he can just plough his own plough his own furrow, whatever you want to call it, and just go on his own road, and who knows what this cricketer could be. He's broke records left, right, and centre, hasn't he? There was a programme going around on Sky, wasn't it? Nasser Hussain was over in Mumbai at the Medan, Medan Oval, or I forget what they call it, where he played as a kid, and he scored like 500 runs or something ridiculous, or in an innings. So. Yeah, I mean, ridiculous talent, isn't it? And it's, England, can we find ourselves an opener that can score 100 on debut at 18, please?
I'm sure there must be some England relatives somewhere across the line through generations and generations. We might need a bit of a Kolpak deal going on, but what a performance by the young lad. And one thing that really struck me was the confidence.
Exactly. I'm just...
The straight-up confidence of the player is so strong in front of square. Now, you watch him play, and almost straight away, he was on that back foot looking to drive, and not just drive for ones and twos. He knows his game inside out at the age of 18, and he is strong off that back foot, man. Oh, moly. You thought Sachin Tendulkar had a good back foot cover drive. This guy's cover drive is delightful.
Yeah, and it's good to see the other young fella, Rishabh Pant, in there that we were kind of begging for quite a while. So it's good to see that they are starting to manoeuvre those young fellas into the lineup. And I'm sure it will pay dividends. And I know one of our friends out there was a little bit disappointed that Karun Nair didn't find his way in the squad, Rob.
Yeah, he was. Now, the thing that's going on with Indian cricket, it seems to me, and from everything that we hear on Twitter through the guys, is the selection policy around this Indian team isn't good. They really don't like Shastri and Prasad at the top. They're very inconsistent with who they're picking. But no one's quite sure what Karun Nair has done to be dropped from the Indian team and then dropped altogether. No one quite knows what the reasons are. So if you guys know the reasons, let us know in the comments below on YouTube or drop us a tweet. But it's very strange. There was murmurings of discrepancies between the management and coaches and the players and the fans. And it's just continuing to roll on. And scoring 650 is a good way to mask these problems, but India have always been good at home. They'll resurface again as soon as they start to travel somewhere else.
Yeah, and it's just worth just looking at the squad briefly. Actually, I mean, you've got all the names that we expected to be in there. Haris Vihari, he's kept his place after making his debut at the back end of the England Test series. He did pretty well. Bit of luck, he could have been gone quite early in his last innings, but he ended up scoring some runs. He's still in there. Obviously, everyone that can be expected is in there as well. But also Mohammad Siraj as well. He's done well for India A. But the big news was Mayank Agarwal. Ranjit Trophy top scorer, I believe he was. This is his first call up for the Test squad as well. So, he's another guy that they're trying to work into the squad. Not in the squad is as interesting, though. Shikhar Dhawan, he was dropped. Karun Nair, obviously, we spoke about. He's been dropped. Injuries to Hardik Pandya, injuries to Ishant Sharma, they're both out. And then rested. JJ Bumrah, he's rested. And also, obviously, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, who is now fit again, has been firing again. He's also rested as well. We've got to call it rested because he would be in any squad, I'm sure. So, even without those guys, this still looks an incredibly strong India team, and I'm sure there's one or two potentially could get an opportunity in the second game.
Yeah, honestly, mate, I look at the top 7, and I say that top 7 is stronger than what toured England. Shaw, Rahul, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane, Pant, Jadeja, Ashwin at 8. That top 8 is better than the top 8 that they played for the first 3 or 4 Test matches.
Yeah, they're finding the way, aren't they? They're finding the way. They've made some decisions on people and giving some opportunity. So it's going to be a good thing for England and India, and I'm sure they're only going to go strength to strength with people like Shaw and Pant in their lineup, mate. So we just mentioned a minute ago about the run of games India have had. It's probably worth mentioning what we're talking about, isn't it? The Asia Cup played out in United Arab Emirates between, obviously, teams from Asia. I don't know where they came up with the Asia Cup name, Rob, but any ideas?
Mind-boggling.
The genius, the PR, the marketing, the meetings they must have had for that Asia Cup. Yeah, so basically it's a 6-team tournament. We have Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Hong Kong. Hong Kong, good to see Hong Kong involved as well. Obviously, they're trying to work their way up. How it shook out, they had 2 groups, and basically what happened is Group A, India won both their games, Pakistan split their games, and Hong Kong sadly did not win a game. But they didn't embarrass themselves, I don't think. They were outplayed in the first game against Pakistan, who Pakistan won by 8 wickets. And then in their second game, they did all right. India got 285 and Hong Kong with 259 for 8 off theirs. So fair play to Hong Kong. They look pretty good. Group B, Afghanistan, again, impressing on the world stage. Obviously, it's going to be world stage if Afghanistan are playing. It's not club cricket. 2-0 to Afghanistan in their games. Bangladesh 1-1 and Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, Rob, what is going on with Sri Lanka? They did not win a game, and it was Sri Lanka and Hong Kong that missed out on going through to the Super Fours.
Sri Lanka are a bloody mess. We spoke about it in the England-Sri Lanka preview, just how poor and how long it is since they've actually won a one-day series, and it's not going to get any better any sooner. They are an absolute monstrosity of a team. They got hammered in both games. The closest game was to lose by 91 runs, and it's an absolute flogging. Minus 2.28 net run rate as well. They're in a really bad place, and if England don't do a number on them this series, I'd be slightly disappointed and worried about our World Cup chances.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a strange one. Sri Lanka, they've always been so strong on in the one-day international arena. So it's a very, very strange one to see them struggling so much as they were. But what it did give, it gave opportunity to the likes of Afghanistan to really, really show that they're something. But they've been. There's another side in this competition who went through, Bangladesh, who have been overlooked. They haven't really been necessarily getting the credit they deserve. Probably a little bit because Afghanistan have done so well of late. But Bangladesh were fantastic, and they ended up facing India in the final. It's that for me. I find that just an absolutely brilliant achievement from Bangladesh, and they nearly won, Rob. They nearly won. The final saw Bangladesh get an under par 222 with Leighton Das 121, man of the match award, but he ended up on the losing side with India just pipping it basically on the last ball. The Kadir Yadav, he's a part-time spinner. He was the match winner. 2 key wickets in the game before guiding them home with an unbeaten 23 of 27. Bangladesh were aggressive with the ball and with their field placements, with defending a relatively small score, and they really, really put pressure on India. Aggressive performance from them, but India just came out on top. But massive credit to Bangladesh.
Yeah, done very, very well for themselves. All the smaller teams did. especially when you see the fact, because you look at the Asia Cup and you go, it's got to be India, it's got to be Pakistan, and Pakistan were giving it the big I am as well. They were saying they were going to beat India by 10 wickets. They were going to thrash India in this competition.
And what happened?
They lost by 9 wickets. 238 for one India. Shikhar Dhawan had a superb tournament. He got 114. But India just, not great. But Bangladesh was superb. They got all the way to the final and they had some good wins. The win over Pakistan and the win over Afghanistan in that Super 4 got them through. But again, my heart was going, I really hope Afghanistan make it all the way here, because they were phenomenal. They beat Bangladesh, thrashed them in the group stages, thrashed Sri Lanka. Rashid Khan, he just pops up with 2 or 3 wickets every single game, going at about 3 and over. He's wonderful. They just lost to Pakistan, just lost on the last ball to Bangladesh, and tied with India. I look at that and they go, they came bottom of the Super 4, but they've had a phenomenal tournament.
Yeah, it was fine margins, wasn't it? And to tie with India as well, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? 252 for 8 plays, 252 all out. India dismissed with 1 ball remaining. Just incredible. Mohammad Shahzad, 124 not out. Mohammad Nabi, 64. And the wickets were always shared around for Afghanistan as well. You know, you've got Mohammad Nabi, you've got Naeeb, you've got Rashid Khan, Aftab Allah. You've got plenty of people out there taking wickets, scoring runs. And it just gets better, doesn't it? I just love the fact that we've got teams like Afghanistan. Bangladesh are coming back. You know, they're starting to establish themselves. We need Sri Lanka to be stronger. We need West Indies. Oh, yeah, I was about to say to be stronger, but generally they're looking better with a white ball than they are with a red at the moment. But yeah, it looks like a good competition. We didn't get to see much of it, obviously. Shikhar Dhawan, top scorer in the tournament, 342. Rohit Sharma was on fire as well, 317. And then Mushfiqur Rahman, Mohammad Shahzad, and Hashmatullah Shahidi also were in the top 5 of the run scorers. Rashid Khan doesn't surprise anyone to say that he was leading wicket taker. Well, shared leading wicket taker with Yadav and Rahman from Bangladesh. So, good tournament, solid. Probably needs a fresher name, Asia Cup. Not sure about that, but we won't hold too much against it.
You know, one thing I really like about this, there was 13 games of cricket, Rich. Do you know how long it dragged out for?
No.
12 days. Absolutely brilliant. Game of cricket every single day. Get through it for the fans. Awesome.
Get it done. Love it. So great tournament. And in India, like I say, they're taking that momentum on. They rested some players, but they got some other players an opportunity, and they took that momentum in to the Test match. And obviously, we're all expecting a win in the first Test against West Indies. After that one, they move across to Hyderabad for the second of the 2-match Test series, and then it's a white ball fest. So West Indies see if they can pull anything out for this game, but I think it's going to be over pretty quickly.
So coming off the back of the Asia Cup and India playing West Indies, India obviously were playing in England, and I'm working really hard to find a segue, but when they were playing in England, they were playing against England, and England are now in Sri Lanka, who were in the Asia Cup, and the first tour match has just taken place between the Sri Lankan Cricket Board and England, Rich. Whew, that was hard work.
That was a pretty good effort of actually linking it across there, Rob. I'm impressed with that. Well done.
Thanks, mate. I worked really hard at that.
Yeah. Well, what's working really hard as well is us trying to work out the result of this Sri Lanka Board 11 against England game, because England won by 43 runs, Rob. But Sri Lanka Board 11 batted first and got 287 for 9. So I'm already hearing you getting a little bit confused. England, 215 for 2, won by 43 runs because they got more than their target of 173.
Because maths and cricket all make sense.
Duckworth Lewis. So basically, England were well ahead, 215 for 2 by the time the game finished. And if they were ahead of 173 at that point, they would have won the game. So that's why they won the game. And let's not worry about it. It's because it's only a warm-up game. They do another one tomorrow, and then it's the real stuff. So no one really jumping out. Chandimal, the captain, 77, 61 from one of the many Mendeses, and Udana, 40 with the bat. Wickets shared around. Mark Wood, 2 wickets, 2 for Rob. Mark Wood got more than 1 wicket in an innings.
Wow.
Mark Wood, you. Moeen Ali, ridiculous. He just cakes wickets. 3 for 42 of his 10. Ollie Stone got his first bowl wearing the 3 lines as well, so that was nice to see. But obviously, the key for England was the reply. Jason Roy, 27. Johnny Bairstow opening. You want to see Johnny Bairstow make some runs, don't you? Pretty sharpish. And he only got 3 off 8 balls. It's early days. We're not going to panic about it, but I want to see Johnny Bairstow make some runs sharpish. But it was Joe Root, Owen Morgan, the captains of the 2 respective setups, the Test and the ODI. And Root, 90 not out of 92, and Morgan, 91 not out of 84 Plenty of 4s and 3 6s for Morgan. So pretty convincing win there for England. And they move on tomorrow to another warm-up game. I'd imagine they'll be looking to just settle that side a little bit, so that, with an eye on the obviously the first ODI coming up on the 10th of October in Dunbar.
Yeah, not a bad performance by England. A few worries though when I look at it. The seam bowlers seem to struggle a bit here. Chris Wokes was going at 9s, slightly disappointing, but it was all about the spin. We know how good Adil Rashid is at white ball cricket. Moeen Ali back to his best, 3 for 42. Rashid 1 for 46. They were going at 4s. That's what really kind of pulled this score back, because they were in contention to go absolutely massive here. They were well set at one point, but the England reply is just solid. You look at that and you go, that's a danger-free scorecard. There's no problems there. Both batsmen have just batted at 100 strike rate. And knocking off 280, I know they didn't get to 280, they got to 215, but knocking off 280 isn't a massive task in modern day cricket, and they just went about the business quite nicely. And I can see here Joe Root only hit 8 boundaries, so he's just doing what Joe Root did and was just putting the ball into gaps, rotating the strike, and there's a bit more aggression from Ewan Morgan at the other end. I think it's a solid warm-up game.
Yeah, exactly. And warm being the word generally in a place like Sri Lanka, because it's going to take a little bit for the England guys to just acclimatise, isn't it? So hot, so humid out there, and the pitches obviously are a little bit different to what we know of. It's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be easy. So it's nice to see players like Root and Morgan take the time and just be like you say, go at 100 strike rate and just get you over the line. It's interesting. Before I come on to it, but I remember when I was out in Sri Lanka, I think 2003 Test series, at the end of the game in the SSC, I got a chance to have a little walk onto the square that had just been finished. A Test match had just finished, and we'd had a couple of beers, and then I just had a little walk on. The curator on the grounds would just let me have a stroll over, pretend to take my guard, on the track where the Test match had just finished playing. And honestly, I could have put my fingers into the cracks in the pitch. It was ridiculous. I don't know how they bat on these surfaces. Obviously, that's a 4th, 5th day pitch that was. But yeah, that's just a little aside there. But it's not straightforward playing in countries like Sri Lanka. So, hopefully England will be able to stay positive and get used to it pretty sharpish. Did you hear about Kaminda Mendis today, Rob?
No, I have not.
So, obviously, with Root and Morgan not being dismissed, it didn't go particularly well. But what the 20-year-old spinner was doing was basically when he was bowling to the right arm, he was bowling right arm off spin and slow left arm. So, depending on if he was bowling to Morgan or Root, he was basically just deciding he was going to bowl with his other arm.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it? Pretty much international cricket, and he's just bowling left arm and right arm.
Well, 8 overs for 37, 22 dot balls. That's phenomenal.
I think he did all right, didn't he? So I hope he was saying what he was going to bowl each time. Otherwise, it would have been a no ball, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. That's a bit awkward as well. Bloody umpire would be going nuts.
Yeah, which side now? Oh, can you imagine it being a non-strikers then just getting confused?
Oh, imagine that at club cricket where you've got the side screens that need pushing across by the fielders every single time they change.
That's you've just tipped me over the edge there. That is something that's starting to really irritate me in club cricket. Stop watching TV club cricket bowlers.
Yeah.
Just because a left-hand batsman is in, doesn't mean you have to bowl around the wicket at them. Honestly, the amount of times this season we had people go, "Can we have 2 people on the sight screen, please? Because I'm going over and round." It's like, just stop it.
I agree. I hate it with a passion. Always hated it. I'm like, dude, you're not that bloody good. You're paying £7 to play this game. You are not very good.
Exactly. Grow up. Stop it. But anyway, yeah, he's bowling right and left-handed in international cricket. Yeah, I find that's fine. I'm not jealous of that sort of ability at all.
Not one bit. It is incredible. Like we had a lad that played with us, Blackie, and he could bowl right
Ian
arm.
Ian Black. So
he could.
So I just want to confirm that before anyone thought that you were being a bit weird on calling people.
Oh no! So he was right arm seam bowler. He may have thrown it, but he was a right arm seam bowler. But in the nets, he could just turn up and bowl left arm seam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was quite impressive actually. I don't really remember it, I'll be honest, but gritty, wasn't he? He was another gritty one. He had a little bit of South Africa, didn't he, about him? A little bit of what's his name? The gritty opener.
Dean Elgar.
Dean Elgar. He had a little bit of Dean Elgar about him.
Yeah,
loved Ian Black.
Good cricketer. Good man. Blackie. I'm a big fan of Blackie.
Don't see much of him anymore, but let's hope he's all right. Who
No.
knows? Do you reckon he listens?
You're in between having a couple of kids, and I think he's a teacher.
Riding his motorbike, riding his lorry, or whatever he does these days.
I've no idea. But interesting times for England. This is the only way England can lose this series to me is if they struggle to adapt to the Sri Lankan conditions. That's the only way I can see this going. I think anywhere else in the Northern Hemisphere, England, it's it's going to be an England win every single day of the week, and maybe even a whitewash. But you just never know in Sri Lanka. You never know how England players are going to adapt to these conditions. And the one question mark, and you touched on him, is Johnny Bairstow. That man just needs some runs. He's been phenomenal in white ball cricket. I just hope he doesn't get a red ball hangover from a bad summer.
Yeah, we just need to see him score some runs. We're not panicking just yet, I don't think, are we? But it's just want to see him score some runs, just settle us down. And it's the white ball cricket, it's the ODIs where we're most confident in this series and this tour, isn't it? I think that's what we said when we did a little standalone for this one, where we would both expect, England to win 3-4 games at least in this one. It's the test stuff that's going to make us nervous, and it's because Sri Lanka is so difficult to beat in the test series. But the white ball stuff, England, I'm sure will have another good game tomorrow. And then we'll be all ready to go for the day-nighter in Dambulla, which will be a few early starts for me, Rob. And but for you, it'll probably be quite a nice time to watch the game in the Kiwi time zone.
I don't actually know what time that starts. Do you know what time it starts in the UK?
No, find out yourself. Jesus Christ, do your own admin. Anyway,
according to this, it starts at
nobody cares
10 p.m. New Zealand time.
All right, maybe people in New Zealand care about that, but
10 p.m. New Zealand time, which means it's about 9 or 11 a.m. UK time. So it's in the day for you.
Right. Okay, that might be a bit of a problem if I'm at work, but never mind.
Yeah,
it's what the internet's for, Rob, isn't it? That's what we said before. The internet. I'm sure we said it was for something else, but that's what it's for now.
Yes, it's not just for stuff you shouldn't search for if you're under 18. The other one is there's games going on at 5:30 p.m. as well. There's some at 10, some at 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. New Zealand time means I finish work, put the baby to bed, watch the cricket at night. It's going to be a great week.
Happy days, happy days. So anyway, let's move on from that, but we're going to keep it with the England setup. Big news, Andrew Strauss, bless him, absolute hero to most, if not all, England fans. He's had to step down from his role of Director of Cricket. 3.5 years he's been in the role, Rob, but he did have to step down, if you remember, back in May of this year. Andy Flower has stepped in as cover, and he's going to continue to take on the role before a permanent successor is appointed. Now, the reason Strauss stepped down initially, and the reason he stepped down again, obviously, is because his wife, Ruth, is fighting cancer. So, obviously, all our best wishes go to Andrew Strauss, his wife and family. We won't go into it too much. We all know somebody, it would seem, wouldn't it, who's affected by that. So thoughts and love with the Strausses. So he's apparently going to take on a flexible position, though, within the ECB, initially just to help them prepare the way for his successor and therefore, continue to consult on other issues. So Strauss has basically said, taking time out this summer to support my wife, kids, as Ruth goes through treatment for cancer, has given me the chance to fully consider what's right for England and what's needed at home. Obviously, he's decided it's his family, what needs to come first. So we've got Andy Flower, more than capable person in there, and I'm sure the ECB will put somebody else in not too distant future to take on that all-important role in what's a really, really important year coming up for England.
Yeah, we all love Andrew Strauss. What he did for English cricket as an opener was phenomenal. A great record. But he's actually left quite I feel a strong white ball legacy behind as part of his piece in the role that he's been as the director of cricket. You think when he took over, England were in a mess with the Kevin Peterson fiasco, and he made a very bold call and stood strong and got rid of KP. Rightly or wrongly, whichever side you stand on, he did it for the best for England cricket. And he encouraged England players to go and play in the IPL. We've got to get better at this. Let's go and play in the IPL. We'll make sure that worked. He did that. And since he's been in charge, white ball, England are probably one of the best, or not the best, one-day international team in the world and must-see fearless cricket. We won the T20 final in 2016, and there's just a complete culture shift to how we play white ball game. For years, we watched England struggle to hit boundaries, whereas now it's like, go be free. You guys can hit a ball, go hit a ball.
Yeah, he's a calming influence, wasn't he, as well? And it was nice to have someone like that in the background. Educated guy, but obviously knew his cricket, and he wanted to play in a certain way. It's a difficult one, isn't it? You obviously understand why he's had to move on, so that's completely understandable. But it will be a shame. And just talking of the playing side of things as well, Alistair Cook obviously has just stepped down, and I'm sure we are going to be taking our time to give him the plaudits he deserves on this podcast at some point. Not today, though. I will do that another time. There's been so many retirements of late. I think we'll have to put that all into one, and we'll have a chat about quite a number of players leaving the game. But talking of Alistair Cook, we're looking for a replacement for Alistair Cook, and Rory Burns, you could say, is stepping in to replace Alistair Cook in the one-day stuff. In the Test series for the upcoming in Sri Lanka. But what we haven't done yet is replace Andrew Strauss. So I think Alistair Cook is gone. We've replaced him, but we still haven't replaced Andrew Strauss, have we? And that's the sort of hole that he left, and we're still trying to sort that out. So hopefully it won't take us long to replace Andrew Strauss in this role. Right, where should we step next? Let's have a look. The Professional Cricket Association, Rob, have done their end of season awards, and a certain Joe Denley recently called up for the first time into the England Test side. He's picked up pretty much every award going. So first of all, Player of the Year. He was up against his Kent teammate Matt Henry, the Kiwi bowler who took just a shed full of wickets, and Surrey pair Rory Burns, obviously who's in the England setup now, and Ricky Clark. Rob, he's going strong, isn't he? Still, and it was Joe Denley that picked up that award. So brilliant for him. He also picked up the Vitality Blast T20 and Royal London One Day Cup Players Awards. So he won all three awards. Young Player of the Year. It's not bad going, is it? Not bad going at all. Young Player of the Year went to Surrey's Ollie Pope, while Sophie Eccleston was named as Women's Player of the Year. Lancashire's Tom Bailey, he took the award for the County Championship Player of the Year as well. More awards yet, Rob. Jimmy Anderson, he was awarded Test Player of the Summer honour for the second year running after a season, obviously, which saw him become the highest taking seam bowler in the history of Test cricket, surpassing obviously Glenn McGrath's 563. And last but not least, Josh Butler, he won the England One Day Player of the Year as well. So Joe Denley, obviously in the Test squad, begs the question though, winning the award for best player in the One Day Cup and the T20, why is he not in the One Day squad?
I don't know. That's a ridiculous thing. That's a ridiculous achievement. That's like the ultimate year ever.
Yeah, he's had a good summer, hasn't he? It was interesting reading something about him recently, and he was just saying, we all remember Joe Denley as an up-and-coming young player, don't we? And then he seemed to fade away a bit. He did play a few times. He has played some. I can't remember if it's just 2020 or white ball, but he certainly played ODI or T20 for England before. Yeah. And he was a good player, and he looked okay, but then he vanished away, didn't he? Then he went to Middlesex, then he came back to... And he was only really coming back to Kent in the last few years. I think he really kind of got that love back for the game and decided that he was going to play with a bit more freedom, not to worry too much about the negative results, and really just go out there and just concentrate and just do his best. And this is what happens. You take the pressure off yourself, and he's at the age of 32, he's developing late. Get him in there. A lot of countries, England in particular, they don't like to go to players late. If you're past 25, 26, it seems sometimes, we don't really want to give you an opportunity. Yeah. Australia have given debuts and given opportunities to a lot of players over the age of 30 over the years. I think Mike Hussey must have been over 30 when he got an opportunity. There are more out there. Yeah.
Adam Voges. Voges averages 61 in Test match cricket. He made his debut at 35 or 36.
Yeah, Sean Marsh as well. He's only really recently been coming into the setup, hasn't he, late in his career? So let's get him in there. That's what I said on the podcast the other day, Rob. Honestly, I could see him, if he bats at number 3, I don't know if he will or not, but I could see him coming and doing what Jonathan Trott did for England, coming in late and just becoming an absolute rock at that position for a period of time. So brilliant, unbelievable, achievements there for Joe Denley, but also Jimmy Anderson as well. He deserves every accolade, and I kind of almost want us to just start inventing awards so we can give it to him, because I don't think he still doesn't get enough credit, and he gets a lot of credit, but he's just one of the greatest of all time.
Special player. There's one award I think you've missed off, and it might not be on your list, but it's the ECB Special Award, which went to Mick Hunt. I don't know if you saw that.
Groundsman?
Groundsman, you've nailed it right. So he's going to retire at the end of the year. But he's been on the ground staff at Lords since 1969. He was appointed head groundsman in 1985 following the retirement of Jim Fairbrother. And now they need to go and find a successor. But he's been an absolute legend down at Lords for 33 years as head groundsman down at Lords. World Cup finals, Test, won the internationals, you name it. It's his ground. What a legend of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't say I missed it. I just decided to not mention it, but I'm glad you did.
The other one that's there that I can see is the Green King Team of the Year.
Okay, where are we going with this?
So the Team of the Year, this is the County Championship Team of the Year that's been named. Captain, opener, Rory Burns.
Fair.
Or the other player, I presume this is opener, is Alex Davis, Lancashire.
Yeah, I think, exciting young talent. He's only about 2021, isn't he? Wicketkeeper batsman, another wicketkeeper batsman.
Yeah. Joe Denley Kent, surprisingly, with 3 awards, he's in the team.
Locked in at 3, I like that.
Ian
like
Bell.
him at 3. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening along here intently.
The man that's nicked off more times than a man that nicks off a lot, James Vince.
Yeah, I was already writing his name down before you'd even said his name there.
Yeah. Moeen Ali.
Nicker Offer. Moeen, number 6. I mean, that's not a bad man coming at number 6, is it, in county cricket?
Wicketkeeper, Dane Villas.
Interesting one. He's Lancashire, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He had a pretty decent season.
Ricky
Clark.
He's unbelievable. He just seems so at ease, doesn't he? Whenever you watch him on TV playing, he just looks at ease. He knows his game inside out. Made the most of it as well. He's not. I wouldn't say he's the most naturally gifted player in the world ever, is he? But he's just seemed to have made the most of it.
Yeah, definitely. Ed Barnard, he's had a great year at Worcestershire. Yeah, he's in the team.
Up and comer. Yep.
Matt Henry, talk about good seasons.
Gotta be fish and chips, mate.
Oh, bro. Oh, you're an egg. He must be. He must be in contention to get into this Black Caps team this summer. Just a phenomenal season, and Morné Morkel to round off the team.
Yeah, that was not the worst signing from Surrey, was it? They got a lot of young players, a lot of homegrown, if you like, talent in that setup. But to bring in someone like Morné Morkel when you've got the like of Tom and Sam Curran and others, it's that's who I want to be learning from. Certainly not Jake Dernbach. Sorry, Jake.
Jake Dernbach. That's slower ball. Can you bowl a normal delivery? No, I can't. I can just bowl a slower ball.
Yeah, I think we used to get annoyed with him because of that bloke that used to play for Willoughby, mate. He bowled a back of the hand slow ball every second ball, I'm sure it was.
His name? He did every single time. No, he used to give you the stare afterwards, like, you didn't pick that. I was like, I did. You bowled the off spin of the ball before, mate.
Every time. Don't like you. Never did. Still though, not going to say your name. But yeah. So anyway, that's a hell of a side, isn't it? I mean, I don't think there's too much you can argue with that. The Villas selection at wicketkeeper, that's an interesting one. But yeah, it's there's certainly some batting there. If Ed Barnard's coming at number 9, hell of a side. Do you know another player that's probably a really good influence and South African, and just another person that kind of is linked to Morné Morkel?
A good South African? Oh, I'm struggling.
Hey, Wayne Parnell. That's how. This is news, Rob. This is news. Segue. He's enjoyed his time at New Road so much. New Road said that a bit weird. Sound like I'm actually from like the down Somerset way, then, didn't I?
New Road.
New Road. So anyway, Wayne Parnell, coming back to it, he's enjoyed his time at New Road so much this year. He has agreed a long-term deal. 2021 with Worcestershire. 29 years of age so far. Parnell is basically and effectively called time on his international career by agreeing this move. A huge coup for Worcestershire, especially after the recent retirements of the likes of Steve McGoffin and Jack Chantry. So Parnell, he's only played 6 test matches, but he has played 65 ODIs and 40 T20s, and last appeared for the Proteas on October 2017 against Bangladesh. So he had a bit of injury, then he missed out over South Africa last year. Basically, he said that he's had little communication from Cricket South Africa, so a combination of all these things has led to his decision to go the Kolpak route, but he has called it the toughest decision of his life, but was comfortable and content with his choice. This is a path that's been taken, if you remember, Rob, as well, by a lot of South Africans, Morné Morkel, for example, but also the likes of Kyle Abbott and Riley Rousseau as well. Brilliant signing from Worcester. Yes, they got relegated from Division 1 in the County Championship, but obviously they had a brilliant time of things and they won the T20. Brilliant for them. Just huge congratulations to them for doing that. I think this is a hell of a signing, and it's just going to be such a coup and such an asset for that young squad as they go forward and look to get back into Division 1. Yeah,
he's got to basically taking it as, my international career is probably over. I need to go and earn some money. The money's probably better in England. He's probably got a decent contract, a few sponsorship deals, going to play 3 formats of cricket, and he's got a hell of a record. Like, seriously, a really good record. Almost 100 one-day international wickets at 30, 41 T20 wickets at 25, and his T20 record across the board is 182 wickets at 24. He's just a he's just a bloody good, really good, really great signing. Like, oh,
It's
go
solid,
Worcestershire, because that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the first bit of good news for Worcestershire. And we're going to do a little bit of a Joe Clark bad news sandwich here. So that's the first bit of good news. But now we're going to talk about the bad news. For Worcestershire, for Nottinghamshire, this is unbelievable. Joe Clark, one of the most highly rated young England cricketers, has made the move from Worcestershire to Nottinghamshire. 22-year-old, he's going to bat at number 3, isn't he? I mean, Notts have just signed Ben Duckett. They've got Ben Slater, who came in from Derbyshire. They've signed Zach Chappell from Leicestershire, who's only a 22-year-old as well, all-rounder, who's a quick bowler. They are rebuilding this team, Rob. Joe Clark, he scored 829 runs this summer. So far in his career, he's played 60 games, 3,812 runs at an average of 40, 12 centuries and 14 half centuries. I honestly think that could be one of the best signings Notts have made in a long, long time, and Notts have made a lot of good signings. And just to wind everyone up, Notts have just made a lot of signings in general.
Yeah.
It always seems that as soon as Notts sign a player, people like to just bag them. People like to go in on them. Yes, we're a little bit biased, whatever, because we are Notts fans. But what are Notts supposed to do, Rob? In the last couple of years, Michael Lum's retired, Greg Smith retired, Chris Reed retired, James Taylor had to retire. Obviously, we know why. Yeah. Brendan Taylor moved back to Zimbabwe. Alex Hales decided he was going to be a bit of a numpty and only play white ball cricket. Am I missing anyone else? That's a lot of people. I feel like I'm missing someone still, but that's a lot of players, a lot of experienced players to lose all in one go. You don't get Stuart Broad very often. Criticism will always come to Notts when they have to go out and sign these players, but they're signing young, talented English cricketers. They're not going the Kolpak route. They're not going all these other routes. They're signing players that are going to be the backbone, hopefully, of this side, and also maybe of England setups in years to come. So I'm delighted with those. I'm sure the likes, Worcester fans will be very disappointed, but well. So.
Yeah, this is a phenomenal signing. Yes, Worcestershire. Anytime you invest in a player, you bring them through and they go and play somewhere else, it's going to be a kick in the teeth, right? And maybe that's a different conversation about talking about some sort of transfer system with transfer fees associated to it. But for now,
I would agree.
This is what it is. Nottinghamshire need to rebuild after all those players going out. And there's no hotter commodity on the market as a free agent than Joe Clark. It's absolutely top draw. He's not going to be in the England setup for the start of the summer. This season probably hasn't been good enough to get that. So Nottinghamshire know that they're going to have a really good run of this guy in their setup. It's brilliant. Also, I did like what you said about Zach Chappell. Zach Chappell is a hell of a signing for this Nottinghamshire team.
Yeah.
And I like the way you said he was a fast bowler.
Yes.
Yes, fast bowler.
Is it the way I said bowler?
It was exactly the way you said bowler, and I was like, remember how he said bowler? Don't let him off on that. He said it really posh.
I had my phone voice on. I do apologise, Robert.
Leading edge cricket here.
Yeah, and right, just to kind of finish this conversation off with what Notts have had, though. With all due respect to the likes of Jake Livy, Billy Root, Will Frayne, these are not the sort of players that are going to take Notts forward. Samit Patel is getting on in years, bless him. He always with that little cheeky face and those chubby cheeks. He always looks like a young guy, doesn't he? But he's about 33 now. Another player that's really underperformed this year, but has been an absolute unbelievable player for Nottinghamshire over the last maybe 10 years, is Ricky Vessels. Yeah. He didn't really do it as much this year, and they've called time on his time at Nottinghamshire as well, Rob. And this is the top bit of bread on the kind of the Joe Clark Worcester Nottinghamshire sandwich. Ricky Vessels has signed a deal for Worcestershire, and he's going to be over there for the next 3 years as well. So although they've lost Joe Clark, they've got Wayne Parnell on a long-term deal, and they've also brought in Ricky Vessels from Nottinghamshire as well, a really experienced performer and a really talented player. The white ball setup, New Road for Worcestershire, is just going to get better and better with Vessels being there as well. So a lot of movement. Will Frayne as well. He's just signed a 3-year deal at Yorkshire after Notts brought him in from Durham University, I think it was, this year. So there's so much movement going around at the moment. It's ridiculous. One more as well, Rob, and then I'll let you jump back in. Matt Milnes. Now, this is a name that we're going to talk about for a moment. 24-year-old Matt Milnes. He's from Nottinghamshire. He's a local lad. He made his debut for Notts this year, but he's decided to make the move south to Kent, and he's signed a 3-year deal down there. He said he's grateful for the opportunity Notts have given him, and he's loved every second of being involved with my childhood club. Appreciate all the help that's given to improve my game, but feel the right time to move on. I'm looking forward to get going. 8 first-class games for Notts, 14 wickets, 43 with a best of 5 for 64. Why are we talking about Matt Milnes, Rob? because he started his career at our cricket club, didn't he, at Newark?
He did.
He's obviously then gone on and done a lot at Plumtree, but he definitely played one game for Newark, even though he wasn't registered and he went under somebody else's name. And his brother obviously played as a young man as well when we were looking after the first team. Or was it when I was and you decided to go somewhere else, Rob?
It might have been that one. Another segue out of the Milner. When I scored my first 100, I was 15 for the first team. I was batting with Matt Milnes' dad.
Oh, there you go. So we wish Matt absolutely all the best in the world. It's weird. Don't really know the guy. I think I spoke to him once when he came down to the club this year to help out on the cricket force. But it just feels so proud. Obviously, Mark was a big mainstay of Newark for a number of years. Ben, the older brother, he played a first team with me. He opened the batting when he was 14 in the first team for us. Really, really good player. But Matt, obviously, we're delighted for him. I hope he goes well in Kent. And just all the best for him. And it's just a shame that he won't be doing it for Notts, but I'm sure he's got his reasons. And God, wouldn't it be good if we could get him on, Rob? Maybe we need to have a pester of Mark.
Yeah, maybe we need to have a little chat with Mark and go, hey, Mark, I've not spoken to you for 15 years, but hey, do you remember that time?
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, plenty of signings there, Rob. Plenty of movement. I'll let you get a word in.
Yeah, no, it's always interesting this time of year in county cricket. Nottinghamshire 100% had to make changes, right? They stayed up by the skin of the teeth. When we spoke to Paul Johnson at the start of the season, he said Nottinghamshire top six is a problem. Dave Bracegirdle said, well, it's not that bad. Well, actually, it was pretty average all year, and they need to be stronger and they need to be better. Nottingshire's in a great position as a county where the people actually turn up to watch this team play. The attendances are through the roof in white ball cricket. Just got to keep growing and keep performing. And the thing that's going to help is bringing in fresh faces and guys that are going to do better, and success is going to keep the growth of the club going in the right direction. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. And they've also, we forget about one player that they signed last year. There was a bit of a furore about it with Ian Beaufort moaning, wasn't there? But Paul Coughlin, he came from Nottinghamshire, the all-rounder from Durham. He was an England Lions standout last winter. And then he dislocated his shoulder playing for England Lions, and he hardly played a game for Notts this year. So it's going to be a new signing, him really coming over and being fit, hopefully, to start next season as well. So onwards and up for Notts. I like the way they're building the side. I like the fact that it's young English players. They're not going the Colpack route, so people will criticise, but what do you do? What do you do when you lose so many players? You've got to rebuild and you've got to do it properly, haven't you? And sometimes the ones you develop yourself are just not good enough, and you just have to go elsewhere and strengthen. So we're going to just talk a few more, bit more business, let's say, because it's honestly, it's getting like football. There are so many moves on the cards at the minute, but let's have a look at a couple more. Dan Worrell, the Australian seamer, he's going to return to Gloucester next summer. This summer he joined, cut short through injury, so he wants to get back across. He enjoyed his time here, so he wants to have another go. He's got 3 ODIs appearances for Australia, and he was on good form start of the summer before his foot injury. So 27 years old now, sure he's going to be looking forward to coming back next year and really, really making a name for himself. Moving across to Leicestershire, we give them a lot of credit with some of their signings. They've retained Mohammed Abbas for next year as their main overseas player. He had an unreal summer in England, Rob. Man of the series in the 1-1 Test series with England. He also finished the summer with 50 wickets, an average of just 17.72. So he's going to be coming back to play County Championship and the One Day Cup. He really enjoyed his time at Leicester, he said, and he's relished the chance to be senior bowler and is looking forward to coming back next year. So that's a couple of good early acquisitions of getting the overseas players nailed on.
Yeah, Mohammed Abbas is a wonderful cricketer. I think I'm rolling back the years here, but when Pakistan were coming over, we spoke about his first-class record in Pakistan. The average is about 16 with the ball. He's a phenomenal seamer. It was wonderful in the Test series against England and Leicestershire. Leicestershire, Derbyshire are rivals of Nottinghamshire, all the rest of it. I always want to see Leicestershire and Derbyshire have a decent team and play in the same division as Notts. I think it's great.
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? But yeah, they did better this summer. I think that's what we've got to say, hasn't it? It was kind of what we expected as well, wasn't it? They've both been hovering around the bottom of Division 2 for a while, but some of the signings they're making, having people like, I forget his name, what's his name? The old wicketkeeper, Leicestershire wicketkeeper, played for England for a while. Nixon. People like that, involved in the setup. They're only going to get better and they're only going to get stronger to play against and stronger to beat. So it's good signs there, great signings. And talking of good signings, James Fuller, he went off like a train this summer for Middlesex, but he's now agreed a 2-year deal to Hampshire. South Africa born, he's represented England Lions, and he's going to be moving across, as I say, to Hampshire, along with this man, Keith Barker. Warwickshire.
Yes.
Now, that's a hell of a signing, isn't it? I did not realise this one had happened. 31-year-old Keith Barker, he's also joining on a 2-year deal. He's got 359 first-class wickets, including 56 to help Warwickshire when they won 2012 County Championship. A couple of summers ago, he had a career best of 62 wickets, so he's still got it going. He's a handy batsman as well, and a good man in all competition. I always realised he'd come over after playing a bit of football, but I didn't realise what he had done actually. So in 2009, after his professional football career ended, he joined. He started at Blackburn Rovers, and he had spells with Rochdale,
Go on the Dale.
Northwich Victoria, and Cercle Bruges over in Belgium. So obviously loan spells for him. So that's not bad going, is it?
Yeah,
talented.
Whenever I hear his name, it always makes me happy. I think it was 2008 he was at Rochdale. Didn't get that much game time, but I remember on Football Manager always had Keith Barker involved. But he's turned himself into a pretty damn good first-class cricketer. He's never going to be more than a first-class cricketer.
No.
But he's consistent with bat and ball. Average is almost 30 with the bat and 25 with the ball, and that's just a phenomenal record. And what a great signing. Yeah,
I think both of those moves, Fuller and Barker, I think they're one of the moves probably that suit everybody. The departing teams as well as well as Hampshire and as well as the individuals. Warwickshire, they've got a lot of good players coming through, so they're going to be obviously giving more opportunity to those guys. So that's all good. Going the other way though, leaving Hampshire is 24-year-old. He's still 24. Reece Topley. He's left Hampshire after 3 years. He's obviously had a lot of bad luck with injuries, stress fractures, this, that and the other, and apparently made it clear he wanted to pursue his career elsewhere. 10 ODIs, 60 T20 internationals before his last couple of years, 2.5 years or more, have kind of been devastated by injury. So I guess he's hoping that he just needs a change of scenery, he needs a fresh start, and hopefully the injury luck will turn and he'll be able to pick up where he left off a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember us talking about Reece Topley at the start of the season, saying what a bright future he had, and then he went down injured. And England do rate him so highly, 6'7", and he's got a great record, 16 one-day international wickets in 10 games, average of 25. Big things were meant for this man, but it's interesting he's going elsewhere, and I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't know whether he's being held back at Hampshire or he feels like he could be playing and he can't play. I don't know why is that.
I think it's just the fact that he's just basically spent 3 years there, and probably nearly all the 3 years he's been injured. It's just bad juju, bad karma, bad luck, whatever you want to call it. It's just sometimes you just need a fresh start. You just need to go somewhere else, don't you? Just to start again. Get back to loving the game, get yourself fit, and for whatever reason, it's just not worked there. Just go somewhere else and give it a shot somewhere else. And it was him actually. He signed he was one of the people that signed a white ball only contract at the start of the summer, wasn't it, to try and rest himself. So we'll see what happens to him. See what the move is next year. Maybe he puts himself on a plane somewhere and goes and plays a bit of white ball or somewhere else. And just slowly builds himself back up, but we shall see. And using the white ball only deal, we have a white ball only contract, Rob. But it's not a cutting edge one. It's basically somebody prolonging their county career. It's 37-year-old Peter Trago, the all-rounder with Somerset. It is one of those, I think. He's basically got to the point where I don't think there was going to offer him a contract for everything, so he's basically signed just a 1-year deal. He said, it's sad to bring the curtain down on part of my playing career, but I feel I've given absolutely everything I have to offer for Somerset in County Championship. So, he's going to be missed there, I'm sure. He's a bit of a, one of those players, isn't he? Is he a batsman? Is he a bowler? He just does a little bit of everything, doesn't he? He doesn't excel in anything in county, but in one-day cricket, he's a really powerful batsman. Loves a tattoo, doesn't he? Jesus Christ. And he's an effective little bowler as well. 3,152 runs, second highest T20 run scorer for Somerset in T20 and 78 wickets. And in one-day format, he's got 4,500 runs and 171 wickets. So white ball stuff is where he's going to get paid next year, and I'm sure he'll do a great job for Somerset still.
Good on him. I love Peter Trago. For years, I loved watching him play. He just goes in, he's old school, hits the ball hard, bowls a few diddlers, gets it about. But he's a bit of a figure, isn't he, with the tattoos on his arm. I think he had bats designed in for his own style and whatever in his honour. And just a legend. Always enjoyed watching the man play, and it's good that he's going to keep his career going just a tiny bit longer.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree, Rob. Totally agree. So, just mopping up the movements. There is so many. If we went into every single new contract and all the rest of it, we'd be here for another 2 days. So we won't do that. I'm sure when we start previewing next summer, we'll look at some of these moves anyway. But we will keep focusing on the ones that are interesting to us. Now, a couple of moves off the field. We've got a Stuart Law. He's coming over to Middlesex. So the current West Indies coach, he's going to be stepping down, and he's joining Middlesex next summer. End of December, he's going to be stepping down, so he's not going to be in charge for the England tour. And he's agreed a 4-year deal at HQ, and he's going to be leading on all three fronts, which means that Dan Vettori's 2-year spell as the T20 gaffer at Middlesex has come to an end. So Stuart Law, impressive signing there for Middlesex, and I'm sure that will help them. And just to get everything up to date, Marcus North, he has replaced outgoing Director of Cricket at Durham, Jeff Cook. He's left Durham. Jeff Cook has left Durham after 27 years in a variety of roles with the county. Marcus North, obviously 39 years old now. He played for Durham. He's married to a girl from the North East. He's lived in the area for several years, and he was even working as Director of Cricket at South Northumberland CC. So obviously this move makes a lot of sense. He was a perfect candidate living in the area and ready for this job. So couldn't be better for the rebuilding and restructuring Durham. Marcus North, Rob, brilliant record. He played for 5 counties, 21 test matches for Australia, scoring about 1,200 runs at 35. But his first-class record, 214 games, 13,764 runs at about 41. That's a hell of a man to have into a county like that.
Oh, it is. You'd look at it and you still go, he's 39. He could probably still do a job for a county.
I bet he could, couldn't he? Yeah. If Collingwood retired at 42, he's still got 3 years left in him.
Yeah, I quite liked Marcus North. I don't like many Aussies. I'm just going to put it out there. But I enjoyed watching him bat. I think he scored 100. Did he score 100 on debut? Or am I making that up?
I can't remember. He never seemed to look like he was enjoying his cricket when he played for Australia. He never seemed to smile much. That's my memory of him.
Yeah, he's not smiling on his Cricinfo photo either, so I think you're onto something there.
I reckon. That's the law. That's the fact. So, yeah, some really interesting signings going on around county cricket, and it's really interesting to see how much movement there is. A lot of contracts being signed, but it's just, as in extensions and stuff, but it's amazing how many players are moving from county to county. And it really is becoming more of a football style, easy for me to say, system, but just without the transfer fee. So it will be interesting if anyone starts looking at that over the next couple of years. But loads more moves to come, I'm sure.
Yeah, there will be, mate. It feels there's more and more year on year. It's just become... We spoke about it on the podcast previously, and I think that is going to be a separate podcast where maybe we look into the structure of the county championship and what could change. And what it would mean to have transfer fees wrapped around players, because I do feel like it would be it would either be a crippling thing for the game or a really good thing for counties.
I think the first thing, we're not going to go into it now, but the first thing that pops into my mind straight away is how do you make it fair? Because you have test playing counties, let's say your Surrey, your Hampshire, your Nottinghamshires, Lancashires, Yorkshires, etc. How do you make it fair against the likes of Leicestershire, Derbyshire, Worcestershire, etc.? The ones in the smaller grounds, Northamptonshire. So there's got to be a way of actually giving everyone an equal share of a pot almost.
Yeah.
For fees perhaps, but obviously the big counties, they're always going to have more money, aren't they? That's just the way it is now. So nothing's really going to change, I suppose. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It'll be a nice one to have a think about one day.
Yeah, it definitely will. But it's good to be back. 2 weeks on the trot, Rich. We're banging out podcasts. Mm-hmm. Not left, right and centre, but we're just slowly creeping into your inbox in a non-sexual way on a Monday at 6 a.m.
Well, yes. Well, I hope it is about 6 a.m. in the morning, mate. Jeez. 6 a.m. in the morning, I suppose, as opposed to 6 a.m. in the afternoon. Shut up, Rich.
It's really good. So we're going to look to try and get another podcast out middle of next week. That's the plan. And I think we're probably going to look at something around the retirement podcast. So we've got Paul Collingwood, James Foster, Jonathan Trott, James Treadwell, Stephen Cook, Nick Compton, and of course, Alistair Cook, all retired from first class cricket. It'd be great if you guys are still listening at this point. Comment below on Facebook or send us a tweet. We'll send some tweets out about it as well. What are your favourite memories of these cricketers? And we're going to analyse them and do a quick breakdown and retrospect of some of their careers. It's going to be quite an exciting one, Rich.
Yeah, it should be. And basically, anyone else wanting to retire, get it in quick, because otherwise we won't talk about you.
Yeah, exactly. You just will be left out. And if you're not on our podcast and we're not talking about you, do you even exist?
Who are you? That's it. Who are you?
Is there a more English thing than going, who are you?
Probably not.
No, there's
Fish and
not.
chips.
There's definitely
Cup
not,
of
Rich.
tea,
Oh,
red
brilliant. Well,
busters.
the weekend's here for us. We're going to enjoy our weekend. I'm going to enjoy a bit of springtime in New Zealand, mate. It's bright sunshine and about 20 degrees, so it's happy days.
Nice. Well, I hope at some point over this weekend, Rob, I think it's Sunday, I think you'll be tuning in for a little bit of Pakistan against Australia, though. I'm looking forward to that one.
I am actually. I'm quite interested to see what this Australian makeup looks like and how they go on. I'm also, cheap plug into West Indies Cricket YouTube channel, really enjoying the live streams. They're live streaming their 50 over competition, which has got America, Canada, and all the little isles around the Caribbean involved, and it's live to watch. And there's free chat, so there's a live chat going on, and just chatting away with other cricket fans while you're watching it. It's bloody phenomenal.
Get involved, folks. Yeah, have a look at that. Get involved. And just so much cricket, as we always say, so much cricket. There's even an Abu Dhabi T20 tournament going on at the minute. Yorkshire are still playing cricket, Rob.
Oh, God, that makes me sad.
There is so much cricket. So, before we wrap up that, I just want to just say how weird and how different is this Australia team going to look in this test match? We could have some names we've hardly come across. So Aaron Finch, obviously we know Aaron Finch. He could be making his debut. If Renshaw's fit, he's going to be there. You've got people. Holland? Who's Holland?
John Holland.
Michael Nisa, he could be playing. Marnus Labuschagne? Brendan Doggett. Who are these Australians? Who are they?
We don't know. But what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on this, and when we touch base next week, we'll review the test, and then we will know exactly who Mr. Doggett is.
Marnus. Exactly. But it's bizarre, isn't it? It's amazing how far this Australia team has moved and how much it's changed in the last 12 months since certain players are not around anymore. But yeah, it's bizarre to see it. And it's the start of the rebuild, isn't it, this weekend for Australia? So it's going to be really interesting to see how they go and how Pakistan go after doing pretty well, I thought, against England. So yeah, it's action-packed, loads of cricket. It never stops, Rob. Why didn't you tell me before we did this podcast to start, when we started this, that there was cricket going on so much around the world? I never realised there was quite as much before I started talking about it.
It's one of those things. It's like, oh, do you want to do a cricket podcast, mate? Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Everything.
Let's do a world one.
Yes. Let's just talk about everything that's ever existed, ever. And that's exactly what we're doing. Anything else from yourself today, Rich?
No, all good. Ready for a bit more cricket.
Excellent. Well, you have a great weekend, my friends, and you guys have a great weekend as well. We'll see you Monday morning, 6 a.m. in your inbox. You've been legends. Till next time.